Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel. Peter likes books. Okay, are you ready for my Booktube-A-Thon 2017 TBR? Okay, last year was my very first year doing the Booktube-A-Thon, and I was so excited, and I bought snacks, and different kinds of coffee and tea, and like, I did the challenges and the sprints. I had such a blast, and I became obsessed with readathons to the point where I even had people send me t-shirts and pillows that said "a thon on," so or "calm down" and "a thon on." And so I'm so excited to do it this year. I'm super excited. And last year, if you watched or kept up with my videos at all, and you know, I did all book. I wanted to like do a theme. I like doing themes. I just like themes, you know? So last year, I did all books that had been made into movies. But this year, I wanted to do something a little bit different, and I really had no clue what books to read for my TBR. I was like, you know, I could just pick things randomly, and I was just gonna like not do anything, and I thought, the day of, I was like, I'm gonna do polls this year. I'm gonna ask people for suggestions, and then I'm gonna pick some books that I wanted to read and some books that they've suggested, and I'm gonna do polls on Twitter, and I'm gonna let you guys decide my Booktube-A-Thon TBR for this year. So I did, and it was super fun, you guys. I was actually very, very nervous. I have to tell you, I'm very protective of my reading. I take suggestions from people, but like, to let my TBR completely be in the control of other people's hands, so to speak, was very nerve-wracking. So let's just get into this, and I'm actually gonna let you guys know the percentages and everything, and you can go to my Twitter and you can see it. So, what book should I read with a person on the cover? And the ones that I chose were Eliza and the Monsters, Highly Illogical Behavior, Asylum, and City of Bones. And that was a mix of different things. And the book that won by 43% was Eliza and Her Monsters, which I was actually super excited about, because I've heard so many good things about this, and somebody just sent me her newest book or her first book. I'm not sure which one it was. But anyway, Dylan the Reader 5 has, like, this is one of his favorite books, and he is somebody that when he reads something and likes it, I typically like it. So I think that it will be a good read. I'm really looking forward to it. Okay, the next poll question was, oh, and that had 136 votes. The next one was, which hyped book should I read? And the options were Six of Crows, Raven Boys, Court of Thorns and Roses, and To All the Boys I've Loved Before. And it was actually a really close win. It was by 38%, Leigh Bardugo's Six of Crows. And I actually have this on Audible, and a lot of people have told me that the Audible version is really good. So if you watched my Booktube-A-Thon videos last year, you know that every Booktube-A-Thon I do, or I mean, it was the first year, so it was like premiere for me. But anyway, I listened to an audiobook. So this will be my audiobook for Booktube-A-Thon this year. Okay. Third challenge is, which book should I read in one day? And I tried to pick like smaller books, and the suggestions, or the ones that I came up with, were A Monster Calls, and then there were none, Hold Me Closer, and Tuck Everlasting. And this was actually really interesting. 146 votes this one had. Monster Calls by Patrick Ness won by a landslide. I mean, 59% of people voted that I should read this. And I have had so many people tell me that I should read this book anyway, that I'm like, it's time, it's happening now on my TBR. Oh, by the way, I better win that Penguin box of books. I was not happy last year when I didn't get, who doesn't want a box of books? Okay, and then the fourth challenge is, which book should I read that has a character different than me? And I picked The Husband's Secret, The Kite Runner, because a lot of people suggested for me to read The Kite Runner, An Ember in the Ashes, and Brain on Fire. And this was close too. The Kite Runner almost won, but missed it by 4%. The winner of this is An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. I'm already up to like 1,000 pages of books I'm gonna have to read in a week. You know it's not gonna happen. But anyway, I'm excited, and I'm gonna read like a little bit of this and a little bit of that. That's how I did it last year. Like, a lot of people like read a book, go through, read a book, go through. I don't do that. Like, I read a little bit of this, a little bit of that, you know. So anyway, An Ember in the Ashes. I've heard so many good things about that. And then this was really interesting to me that this won by a landslide. Which book should I read completely outside? Now, I want to tell you what's funny about this is that a lot of people suggested on my video that I should read The Troop by Nick Cutter. It got 2%. So for all the people that recommended that book to me, I will read it at some point. It's about like a troop of Boy Scouts and like somebody's trying to attack them. But you didn't do real good on the poll. And then I picked Rotten Ruin, Before the Fall. And the book that won by 54% was Sherry Lapina's The Couple Next Door. And I actually got this on Book of the Month last year when I was still a member. And my best friend Tanya read it and she really liked it. So I've heard good things about this too. I wanted something scary to read outside, so that's why. Do you have a couple next door? I have a few of them that I'd like to get rid of. Okay, and then the next one is, what book should I read because of the cover? And this is so funny because I actually picked this book up because of the cover, and then when I read what it was about, I was like, oh, this is exactly something that I like to read. And the ones I picked were Anything Could Happen, Windfall, Thanks for the Trouble, and We All Looked Up. And I really haven't heard anything about this on Booktube, so it's so funny that this book won. And that is Jennifer Smith's Windfall. And she's the one that wrote The Statistical Probability of Love at First Sight. This is about a girl and her best friend, and he turns 18, and she buys him a lottery ticket, and he supposedly wins. And then it's how money comes in the way of their friendship. And I just think it sounds really awesome. I love young adult contemporaries anyway. So, and isn't the cover just gorgeous? Stephanie Perkins, Jenny Han, Morgan Matson, they all said good things about it. I mean, seriously, those are like the queens of young adult contemporary, so. Okay, so then I was gonna pick my 7th book myself. I was like, you people have had enough control over my TBR. But then I was like, if I'm gonna do a completely picked TBR, I still have to leave it up to you guys. And so I just randomly picked 4 books that I was wanting to read. And I put them on here, and the ones I picked were I'm Thinking of Ending This, Highly Illogical Behavior, Anything Could Happen, and Life as We Knew It. And by 52%, John Corey Whaley's Highly Illogical Behavior won. And I have actually read everything by John Corey Whaley. He is one of my all-time favorite authors. You guys know I'm a diehard John Green fan, and David Levithan. I actually think he's much better than John Green, much better. I think he has a really unique voice, and I should have read this last year when I got it, and I didn't, so. And the cover is gorgeous, isn't it? I've heard so many people talk about how they like this, and then actually somebody tweeted me out today, and they said, I did not like that book. I hope you have a better time with it than I do. I hope so, too. Because listen, ma'am, I have lots of books. Librarian, I'd like to check these out. I mean, nothing has changed since I was like 10 years old. My mom would say, how many books do you want to check out? These, Mom. Well, you're never going to read me. Mom, these. I want all these. And she'd say, honey, why don't you just take one out and we'll return it? No, Mom, I need all these. Peter, will you read those? I swear, Mom, I'm going to read them all. And then I'd read like a chapter of the smallest one. I just love books so much. So anyway, somebody commented, actually this wasn't a comment, this was actually somebody on like one of those like guru gossip channels said, he always starts readathons and he never completes them. I was like, oh, that was like the worst thing anybody's ever said about me. Like I've gotten a lot of hate directed towards me on my channels, but like that was like the meanest thing anybody has ever said to me. I was like, oh my God, did you really say that? So anyway, keep up with me. Now listen, I have a daily vlog. It's listed below, Peter Vlogs. I also have a main channel where I do drama. You might not know about that, and you might not want to know about that. It's crazy. But on my vlog channel, I will be vlogging Booktube-A-Thon. I've actually gotten a lot of people from over there turned on to Booktube-A-Thon and are going to participate in it. And then I also go on YouNow every night in live stream, so if you want to follow us over there, go do that. And I'm going to be talking a lot about Booktube-A-Thon on there. I showed them actually last night my TBR, so they got a little hint at what I was going to show. So yeah, I'm so excited! I've got to figure out what treats I'm going to eat and drink and all this kind of stuff, and I cannot wait. And thank you to Ariel Bissett for organizing this thing every year. I think it's awesome. I think it's a really good opportunity to get excited about reading. I think all of the readathons are a really good way to get excited about reading, but this one specifically, I just think it's at a perfect time, and it will always hold a dear place in my heart as being my first readathon. So I hope you guys are participating. If you're thinking about it, just do it. And even if you don't finish reading one book, it's okay. At least you have the fun of doing it. There's Twitter spins, there's Instagram pictures, there's all kinds of stuff you can do. I mean, it's like literally like the Summer Olympics for books. So I love this so much, you guys, and I love you, and I will talk to you later. Bye.